In today's video, what's more important, your calories or your macronutrient ratios?
By myself.
Hey guys, what's going on? This is Paul Ravella from ProPhysique.com, and if you're interested in nutrition, training, and help with reaching all your fitness goals, well, hit the subscribe button, because that's what I do here. And what we're going to do today is talk about macronutrient ratios and calorie goals and how those two are interchangeable and which one's more important for you and your goals. And the question came from my Instagram direct message. So if you go right here or right here, I can never get it right, and go to my Instagram and send me a direct message, well, what I like to do is take those questions and answer them for you. So let's get into today's question. I often wonder why it is more important to hit your macros versus just staying at a caloric deficit. This is a great question, and it's something that we often talk about when it comes to fat loss, because what is more important for fat loss, macros or calories, all right? And really the question comes down to, what are your specific goals? Because no matter what your macronutrient ratios are, you gotta be in a caloric deficit. So oftentimes the way I set up plans is I send people macronutrient goals and they say, hey coach, what are my calories? Should I be hitting a calorie goal? Let's first talk about the basics of macronutrients, okay? So we know about protein, we know about carbs, we know about fat. I'm not gonna talk about alcohol, we're gonna talk about just these, right? So when we're talking about macronutrients, protein and carbs are essentially 4 calories per gram, 9 is essentially for fat, right? So 9 calories per gram for fat. And so when we look at that, we can actually extrapolate what our calories are going to be estimated at based on our macronutrients. Now, who do I work with, guys? Who is my specific population of people? Well, it's typically people that are really interested in physique and performance goals, okay? Yes, I worked with a lot of lifestyle clients over my career, but I have been shifting more and more to the people that are really focused on performance, low body fat, physique goals, powerlifting, you know, these kind of things, bodybuilders. And when that's the case, that's where I feel like ratios become very important. If your goal is simply to lose weight, you can start by just tracking calories and making sure that your calorie goals are in place. But I will say this, the one thing that's good about changing your macronutrient ratios, protein, as we all know, is the building block of muscle. So if your protein is really low and you change that out for some fats and carbs, well, there can be some benefit to muscle protein synthesis, lean body mass. That can actually make weight loss easier, especially if you're getting in the gym doing some resistance training, right? Also, protein satiates, okay? When you eat it and it's in your stomach, it actually releases the most amount of ghrelin. So that means, that's right, you feel fuller from eating things that are higher in protein. So it might help stave off snacking a few hours after you eat if you have higher protein sources. So this is where macronutrients become valuable. It can also be valuable if you understand the science of nutrition, understand what our macronutrients are for. What benefit does protein provide? What benefit do carbs and fats provide? Well, if your fats are too low, it can have a real negative impact on things like hormones, okay? That's very important. It can have a negative impact. I've even worked with clients that have been on such low fat plans for such a long time, they've had issues with hair loss and nails being thin, right? Think about it. These are used nutritional fat in the production of these follicles. So if your nutrition is so bad that it's actually manifesting in your physical well-being, that's a problem. So what do we like to do? Well, for macronutrient ratios, for just a general guideline, 25% of your calories should be roughly coming from fats. That's just to keep the lights on and keep you doing well. We can change those ratios based on your specific needs, right? Now, again, I work with a specific population of people of performance and bodybuilders and people that are into fitness culture. And so we tend to keep protein and carbohydrates at a premium, okay? Whereas if you're just interested in weight loss and you want to use a a high fat approach, such as a ketogenic diet or even just a high fat, low carb approach, something like an Atkins, well then fats might be much higher, and that's absolutely fine. Again, it all comes down to what your goals are, and that's where we have to get into the discussion, because no matter what your goals are, if it is to lose weight, you have to create a caloric deficit. Finding the best caloric deficit for you is going to be about finding sustainability. What type of diet do you find that works best for you? I talk about this just recently in a video talking about fasting and, one meal a day and these type of approaches. If it fits your goals and it's helping you and it's sustainable, then that's the best diet for you, okay? So for me and the people and my goals and the people I work with, I love creating macronutrient profiles. Because mostly it allows people to eat a wide variety of foods, which is great for long-term health and benefits. It doesn't give us any type of eating disorder behaviors, right? Because we're not limiting ourselves to like 5 or 10 foods and then disassociating that, creating good and bad associations between foods. In my mind, there really are no good and bad foods. The good and bad foods just come down to what fits your daily budget for calories, what fits your daily budget for macronutrients, okay? If they fit and it's something you enjoy, then I'm all for it. I also really believe in consistency over the long term. So macronutrients, when you learn to look at some food and go, how many protein, carbs, and fats are in this, you're educating yourself. You're starting to learn, oh, that's why when I eat that I don't feel good, or that's why when I eat this I gain weight. Sometimes people can have negative associations with foods that are great and positive associations with foods that are terrible for them, okay? Learning the actual numbers, getting into the matrix, that's where the benefits come from macronutrients. Well, guess what, guys? I'm getting on a flight. I'm headed to DC, so I really appreciate you watching the video. Click subscribe, click like. Let me know if you have a comment below about what do you prefer. Do you prefer calories or do you prefer macronutrients? All right, guys, I'll talk to you soon.